Okay, today I'm going to show you how you can take a black and white image, break it, add color to it so that you can scan it, cut it, separate it on your mat. Lots of different things you can do. But I'm going to show you the basic first, and then I'll show you what you can do with it after. So let's begin by opening up a new one and make the cut. Now your default in make the cut is green. And for today's lesson, let's just switch it over to contrast. That way you can see the colors a lot easier. And the next step we're going to do is go on the internet and grab this image. There will be a link in the PDF file for you that will be included. And it's a JPEG. So a JPEG, we can automatically just copy it. If it was PNG, SVG, anything else, you actually have to save the file. So then we're going to come over here now that it's copied, and we're going to select Pixel Trace and a simple paste. And there is the file, and we're just going to select Import and finish tracing. So now that we've finished tracing this, we can see that it's our clipboard trace. We don't need the default layer. And now we're going to come back over here, select this, and we're going to choose layer because we need these two white pieces to get colored in. So now we have created those two pieces. Now we have the solid background and the two separate hearts. Let's copy this two separate hearts, which is trace path 1, copy. Then we're going to select paste from clipboard in place. And now we have two of these, but they are solid. See? There's no way you can color them separately. So let's put them back. And what we're going to do is we're going to break them. Now we have them in two separate pieces. So let's color one of the hearts. We'll give this one a red, and we'll make this one pink. You can choose whatever colors you like. And now we can come up here, and what we're going to do is make each one of these on a separate layer. Right now it's all on the same layer. So if I clicked on this, it would select them all. But in ScanNCut, if you put your colors on a separate layer, you can separate them on the screen on the machine. So let's click on this and right click on it and make to each his own. And now we have everybody on their own layer. So let's close each one of these layers so we can see what we have. And I'll move this down out of the way. And now we have the red layer and a pink layer, and we have the black layer and the background. So let's hide the red one and the pink one. We can come over here to the arrow, which is a select all, and what we're going to do is convert this back to a outline. So we're going to select join, and now we have an outline. We can delete this layer by the X or the garbage can. I'll just do the X since I'm right there. And let's open up these pieces again. And now what you have is a colored in shapes. And if you zoom in, and let's go back to contrast, our green, you can see that the red ends right there and the green is right there. They butt right up to each other perfectly. Now this works great if you want to just cut this out on a piece of vinyl or cardstock. But if you want to use heat transfer, you're going to have to take the background piece and add a shadow layer to it, because you need to make it overlap just a tiny bit. Because when you put these hearts down and you heat press those first, they're going to shrink just a little bit and you'll end up with a gap. So what you do is you just select this, go to shadow layer, and I use 0.028, accept that, and now we'll just zoom in and you will see that it added, see that little bit of a thing, just enough that it will overlap so that you don't have any gaps on your product. So what you need to do is go back and delete the clipboard trace, not the shadow one, the clipboard one, which I'll close or X out right now, and you'll see you have this one, and you could change this back to black. So there you go. And now you have all your overlapping pieces. You can see that they just covered just a tiny bit. So now let's go, and I'll send this back to the way it was just by hitting undo. And we'll go back to contrast. And now I'm going to show you what you can do with this now that it's all set up for print and cut. So let me zoom back out. And if you're going to print and cut, the first thing I want you to do is come over to print and options, and we're going to show our paper on our mat. And this green outline is your 8.5 by 11. If you have it set up in your printer, it'll tell you what printer it's set up for. If you have your printer set up for portrait or landscape, this is how the paper will be. But as you can see, this is a little bit over the paper. So if you come in here and do a print preview, you'll see that this part of the heart got cut off. So let's close this. You can do a select all. You can come up here and make sure your padlock's locked, or you can change this to an 8, whatever you want. And now we can do a print preview, and there you go. There's your hearts, and any size you want you can change this to. And now this is pretty, but let's make it better. Let's take the red, and we can come in here, and we're going to texturize this. So you can, I have a lot of paper I've saved over the years in a folder. So I need to put it in categories, but for today we're just going to add some texture. We'll use this, and we'll open that up, and you can rotate it or you can scale it, make it bigger, but don't go too big where it starts getting blurry, because then it that's not going to make it look like you use paper. Okay, and then we'll go to this one, and sorry I'm not using any fancy, but we can go back to choose from file, and I don't know, we'll just pick a paper here, and maybe we can scale it to a little bit crazy, I don't know, transform it maybe. And there you go. And you can either change this to a different color to match, whatever you want, or you can choose a different paper. These are the papers you've just used, or you can find a different one. Back up there. There we go. Okay. And there you go. Alright, I know it looks a little weird, but what do you want? So now what we're going to do is go to print preview, and this is what your paper, your printout will look like, which isn't actually too bad. So you can do that. What else can you do? You can, because the line is not really defined in the print preview, if you want, you can go and print options in I think it's print shape outlines. Let me see. File, print preview. Yeah, you can do the outlines. But if you don't want the outline here, like I wouldn't want that, but it depends on what you're doing, you can go turn those off. Print outline, turn off. And you can come down here to select all and come and make a tiny little let me actually zoom this in first so you can see. Okay, come down and choose shadow layer, and you can see that it added a black line, but if that's too thick for you, it's just so the ScanNCut can find it better. Sometimes the lines aren't defined enough. And now let's do a print preview. It's probably not enough, so let's delete that one and do a little bit more. Let's just keep it at 2. And now we'll do a print preview. There we go. And now I found a black outline for you to do. That's probably actually a little too wide, but you get the idea. And then all you have to do is print this out, send it up, put the paper on your mat on the ScanNCut, do a scan. It'll find those black lines very easily and cut it. Sometimes, you know, if this was on the outside, it might not find the edge on the ScanNCut. Let's delete this. Let's change this to something. Let's texturize this to something that might have white in it. Oh. Let's see, like this. Just make it a little. I wouldn't do it this big, but I will put it on here. Okay. Now you see how this. Oh, didn't mean to move that. You see how this white kind of goes right to the edge. If you do a print preview, the ScanNCut's probably not going to pick that up as the line, so it might cut these out. That's why you would want your shadow layer. I'll show you. See? That's why. Then it will see it as one continuous line. See, it might have cut out that piece, cut out that piece. So that's why you would want to add a quick layer to that before you print it and cut it out. So I hope that helps you. I'm trying to think of what else you could do with this. There's, you know, lots of things. Oh, there's one more thing I'd like to add. If you do not want your shadow layer to be black, you can actually go in and change it to any color you want. You can make it custom. You can, let me just cancel this. You can actually zoom in, say you want it to be this brown. You could go in and custom the color and find your brown, whichever, you know, it's close to what you want. So that way you're not having a black outline on your project. You can have something that's a little bit, you know, closer to what you want. I don't know. That's good enough for now. So now you can go into your print preview and you can see that it made something that's not going to stand out so much when you cut it out as the black would have. So if you do want to, you know, keep it as close to your paper, you can play with your coloring on the edges. So I hope that helps you too. Glad I thought of it before I ended the video completely. But for today, I hope that helps you, and join my Facebook and get the PDF file over there so that you can have a little printout of how to do this. Alright, enjoy your day. Bye.